Good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back. Again, this is day 2 of us dealing with the Puppy's Bio Guide. We are giving out relevant information that you need to have in your toolkit if you're going to be going out, and it is a limb, going out on a limb to purchase a puppy. Yesterday we talked about identifying a potential breeder to buy from. We talked about looking at the pedigree, looking in the pedigree to see what's going on with the parents in terms of titles and in terms of health-wise, parents, grandparents. We talked about understanding whether it's a line breeding or whether it's an outcross. What does the breeder intends to get from the breeding? We talked about can you visit the facility? Is this a facility that you can actually visit, which is important. You can see the parents, both the mother and father. You get some idea of what is going to be produced from looking at the parents. Those health checks are important. Genetic health tests are important. You don't want to get a dog that's going to have some genetic health issues down the road. So those are real critical. And then the titles, whether the dog is in the show ring or whether the dog is in some type of working classes, that's going to be important. Looking in that pedigree to get some type of idea of what you're getting. We talked about it a lot yesterday, but we left off talking about contracts. And I'm always the type of person, I believe that when you're doing business and you're talking about money and you're talking about doing business with a person over an extended period of time, from the time the puppies are born up until the time they leave, extending out from that to the first, month or two of you owning a dog. So when you're talking about relationships like that and you're talking about money, I always say you got to have a contract, okay? That contract breaks down, identifies and breaks down the terms and conditions for purchase and sale, the guarantees, any guarantees should be in that contract, and you got to pay very close attention to what the timelines are. If you say that you're going to purchase a puppy, there should be a timeline by which you start the process and end the process of buying that puppy. So down here we're talking about deposits. So when you look at the contract, it should be a legally binding contract. It should not be nicknames in there. You should have address, phone number, email, real name. If the person is an actual company registered with the state, that should be there. If they are doing business as a breeder under another company, then that DBA should be there, doing business as so and so and so and so. You want a legally binding contract when you're talking about issuing your money out to people, okay? You want to verify that these people are legit. You can always do that by going online. If the breeder is legit, there's going to be a ton of information that you can access about that breeder online. You're going to see pictures of dogs. You're going to see videos. You're going to see just a whole lot of information and let you know that this person is an actual breeder who sells dogs and who has a decent reputation for selling dogs, okay? There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to find breeders who have 4 or 5 star ratings and who have a customer service satisfaction rate of about 95%. It's very easy to do in this business if you operate with integrity. So you're looking for the contract. If they do not offer contracts and you're trying to purchase a puppy, they do not offer contracts, that's the first sign that you need to move on, okay? Serious people who are about business and who are about integrity when it comes down to dealing with people's money, they are going to have contracts. They're going to have a bill of sale. They're going to have something to point you to that let you know that they are professional, or they are heading in the direction of being a professional breeder. Okay? You should be able to identify with that. So if they don't have a contract, you automatically know they're not people that you want to do business with because they're not professional. Okay? I just sent out a contract to a young lady. She that I know was a Facebook friend. And she said, my father is looking to purchase a puppy. What are the prices? The first thing I asked her for is, give me your email. When you give me your email, I can shoot you a contract. You're going to see the different prices in there. You're going to see the language. You're going to see everything that you need to see in that contract. When are the puppies going to due to be born? If they're born, the date, who the mother, father is. You're going to see a lot of information in that contract. So if you ask the person for a contract and they are, oh, I don't got a contract, this and that there, you might want to move on. Okay? Pay attention to those timelines. If you're paying a deposit today, then they're probably going to want you to pick that puppy up by the time that puppy turns 8, 9, and 10 weeks old. Okay? In my contracts, I ask that you pick your puppy up at 8 weeks old. I ask that you pick your puppy up at 8 weeks old for a reason that we're going to probably go into, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. We'll be talking about why is it important to pick your puppy up at 8 weeks? Why not 6? Why not 10? Why not 12 weeks? Why is 8 weeks important as opposed to any other time? Why is 8 weeks the most critical time? I'm not saying that you can't get it before or after 8 weeks, but why do we use 8 weeks as a baseline? I'll be explaining that, I think, on Thursday. So once you pay the deposit, what is the deposit? Are they asking for half of the money? Are they asking for 2/3 of the money? If they are, then it should be some special conditions lined out in the contract that identify why they are asking for so much of a deposit. We do 20%. We do 20%. It is a 20% non-refundable deposit. Okay? That means you pay your 20%, and at 8 weeks, you come and you pay the rest of your money. You take your dog home, your puppy home. Okay? How much is the deposit? Is it refundable? Now, what we have in our contract said it is a non-refundable deposit. What we have done this year, and even all the way back to October 2020, we allow people to pay a deposit. And if something came up and they say, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to finish paying for this puppy, XYZ, we would roll that deposit on to any future litter, whether it's a Rottweiler litter, a Cane Corso litter, we would roll that deposit over. We're changing our policy on that now. It's going to be reflected in the contract. It is an absolutely non-refundable deposit. We want to deal with clients that are serious and that's about their business. We don't want to deal with people that at the last minute, they want to bag out on a puppy without a really, really good, legitimate reason, okay? So, is the deposit refundable or not? What is the methods of payment? Is there extra fees? Okay, with Cash App, if you're doing Cash App and you have a business Cash App, they automatically charge 3%. They charge another percentage if you're going to download that money into your bank account immediately, and a lot of breeders do that because they don't want a bunch of money piled up on Cash App. So you're going to get another charge. So literally out of if somebody sends me $200 on my Cash App, I'm out of, and I immediately download, I'm out of about $8.50, $9 out of $200. So some people, I haven't charged extra fees for that, which would be an extra 3%. Some people don't do that, but you need to ask them, are there any extra processing fees? Are you paying taxes? Are you, as the buyer, paying taxes on this dog, or is the breeder absorbing the taxes associated with the purchase? Our kennel, we have always absorbed the tax. So if we tell you that the puppy is $1,500, that's what you're paying. You're paying $1,500. You're paying your 20% up front. You're paying the 80% when you come and pick your puppy up. Okay. Is there an option, when you're talking about deposits and contract, is there an option for you to pay as you go? What I mean by pay as you go, somebody has a litter and the deposit is 20%, so you got 80% to pay. Can you give something every week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks until you hit that mark? That's a question you want to talk to the breeder about. They should be outlined in the contract. Okay, so picking order is another thing, and I think this is a good point for me, a good place for me to talk about. What is the importance of picking order? Let me give you an example. If I have 7 to 10 puppies in a litter, and you come to my kennel to look at these puppies, all of those puppies, even though they have the same mother and the same father, they have the same pedigree, all of those puppies are not going to be the same. Puppies are going to have different temperament, different drive, different personality. You have some puppies that might be off to themselves. You have other puppies that might be shy and bashful. You have some puppies that are a little bit more aggressive or assertive. You have some puppies that want to show off. So my thing is, if I'm buying a puppy, if I can get it, I want first pick. I'm going to ask when I pay my deposit, hey, what picking order am I in? A lot of people don't. So when they come and they come to a kennel that has 7 puppies, 4 of the puppies are already gone. They only have 3 puppies to look at. So now their selection has been narrowed down. And then it's a possibility that if these other 4 people that came and picked their puppy out, if they really know what they're doing, they've already picked the best puppies. Okay? So I want to be at the top of the list for picking. If the breed is breeding for itself, quite naturally, he's going to keep a male or female. He might keep both. He might keep his best male and his best female. I want to at least be the one to get the second puppy after that. I don't want to be 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th. But that goes with negotiating your contract. If I get a contract and I'm buying a puppy and I get to reading in the contract and there's something in there that I don't like or something missing, I'm going to go back to the person with the contract and I'm going to say, hey, I like everything about this contract, but this, can we change this? This is what I would like to do. So if I have, let me give you an example. In the contracts that I'm sending out now, because we have 2 litters that are due around November the 4th. Both of them are Rottweiler litters, same sire, different dam, right? So I know, once again, everything is not the same with these dogs. The sister that I just sent the contract to, she got a contract off of Lollipop. What's the difference between Lollipop and Tina? Lollipop is straight Serbian line, top and bottom. Okay? Tina is German on top, Serbian on the bottom. Tina has her hips, her elbows, her JLPP cleared. Lollipop has hips, elbows, JLPP, heart, eyes. She has 6 critiques in Serbia from different judges. She has 2 critiques in the United States from different judges. So she brings in terms of she brings a lot to the table. Now, but the prices on both of these contracts are the same. You can get the puppy for $1,300 as a pet. It's a pet only. You don't get any registration papers. You don't get none of that. $1,300. But let's say I want registration papers. I want registration papers. You don't get none of that. 1,300. But let's say I want registration papers. I want registration papers. You don't get none of that. 1,300. But let's say I want registration papers. I want registration papers. You don't get none of that. 1,300. But let's say I want registration papers. I want a soda. Registration. For registration on that litter, $2,000. These are the same puppies. So, once again, if you see something in the contract that you want to kind of tweak or change dealing with these breeders, let them know. Say, okay, I want to go ahead and pay the $1,300 for the puppy. But I want it in the contract that within the next several months, I could come and pay that remaining balance, that $700, and get all of my paperwork fully registered with the dog. No restrictions on it. You got to know how to talk and negotiate this contract, because at the end of the day, this person is still getting their $2,000. It's just going to be a 3-4 month delay before I have the rest of my money. But I want to go and get my puppy. Let me pay this 13, take my puppy, and then it's in the contract. I can bring the 7 back and get all my paperwork, everything that I want. So now, even if you don't have the whole $2,000, you can get what you need, that puppy right now. Start your training and all of your stuff, and come back later on, pay the rest, that other 7, go on get your paperwork. Don't look at these contracts as all or nothing. This is a puppy you're trying to get. You should be negotiating the contract. Okay? Negotiating the contract. If you are paying $2,500 for a show quality dog, or whatever high price you're paying, it should be somewhere in this contract that this is a show quality dog. And if you get that dog to, let's say, a year old, and it's showing genetic defects that does not meet conformation standards, okay, don't meet conformation standards. I thought this was going to be a show quality dog. Then what you ought to be able to do is say, hey, look, should be something here to say, okay, are you going to get a part of your money back? Are you able to bring your dog back for a full refund? Are you able to get the dog replaced from a future litter? You got to talk. This is your money you spending. And the reason why people expectation is not met, because they're not being assertive in negotiating their contract. A professional breeder is going to be willing to make some concessions as it relates to the contract, because they know all puppies are not the same. They know that. Professional breeder. Now, if you don't know it, that's your bad. You might wind up wasting or spending extra money or something like that. But we talked yesterday about doing your research. Doing your research on the market. Doing your research on the quality of puppies, okay? And I told you, some people are selling puppies for $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000, and they can give you zero help guarantees because you don't ask for them. You're paying a bunch of money, and they can't guarantee you anything. That goes back to your ignorance about what you need to be looking for and asking for in that contract. Okay? Now, do your research. There's a time that you're going to need to pick that puppy up, or that puppy going to need to be delivered. You need to discuss that before you pay your deposit. Are you picking the puppy up, or is somebody else coming to pick the puppy up? If somebody else, a third party, is coming to pick that puppy up, then the chain of custody is that person should have enough medical knowledge and skill to look that dog over, see that that dog is healthy before they take that dog. Because worst case scenario, if you send somebody to get your puppy and they are transporting, they have multiple dogs and multiple puppies in the vehicle, maybe some of them have gotten their shots, maybe some of them haven't. Your dog could catch something. If they're not professional, if they don't check off and do everything that they need to do, I could literally hand over to you a healthy puppy, and your transporter could put that puppy at risk for parvo, at risk for coccidia, at risk for bordetella or kennel cough. So here's what I tell my clients. You could pick your puppy up. You can send somebody responsible to get your puppy. It's going to be between y'all two. Or we can deliver your puppy to you anywhere in the continental United States. Can't do it free. We go back to contract. Where do you live? How long is it going to take us to drive to bring you your puppy? And you get to pay for that. There are certain people that I've met in Chicago. I've met people in Atlanta. I have met people around the country who wanted to buy a dog, who believed in us, who trusted us because they followed us on social media for 3, 4, 5 years. And they completely trusted us. And we did everything, picked their puppy out for them, gave them evaluations, did everything that we needed to do, and we delivered their puppies to them. I didn't understand how valuable the pet delivery service was until I had a lady named Susan that came to my house, and she picked up a Cane Corso puppy for a guy down in Florida. He paid me $1,800 for the dog, but he paid them $2,000 to deliver the dog to them. And he told them, he said, I'm going to pay you, I'm willing to pay up to $2,000, but I don't want any other animals in the vehicle at all. They came and got that puppy, and they drove that puppy in a little hunchback vehicle down to Florida for $2,000. So once again, even when it comes down to delivery, you're going right back here and you're going to your negotiations. Maybe you can't come all the way. Maybe you got somewhere else to be. Maybe you all can meet halfway. What does that price look like? What does the price look like to get the puppy to your city? And I have people that come that work with me, and I train them on how to deliver puppies from start to finish. What are you looking for when you pick the puppy up? Because they deliver for me, they don't deliver for anybody else. But I'm teaching them. What do you need to look for? How do you look the puppy over? You listen to the heart, make sure the heart is beating strong, there's no heart murmur. You're listening to the lungs, make sure that the lungs is clear. You're looking at the eyes, there's no glossiness about the eyes. You're looking at the stomach area of the dog, the ears, how to look the dog over and look for certain things to make sure everything is all right before you even take that puppy to deliver it to somebody. Because what you don't want to do is go to a kennel and get an unhealthy dog, transport that unhealthy dog to your client, and there's no chain of custody as it relates to the health of that dog. Because some of the breeders are going to say, hey, well, I sent the puppy out, the puppy was healthy. And then the transporter is going to say, well, my stuff was clean and we did everything right. And now you don't know who to hold responsible. So C does the kennel that you purchased for. C, if you cannot drive and come and get the puppy, C can they deliver the puppy to you? Okay. I recently had a little Cane Corsos where people actually flew into Arkansas to the Little Rock Bill Clinton airport from as far as California and Nevada. Got them, rented them a vehicle, came down here, picked their puppy out, drove back to the airport, got on the plane and flew back. They were really, really serious about getting that puppy. And they had been watching me for a few years and decided that they was going to get a puppy from me. Pick up and delivery. My policy says you have to pick your puppy up at 8 weeks. We will hold your puppy to 9 weeks for an extra $100. We will hold your puppy an additional week for an extra $100 because we got to feed that puppy, we got to clean up behind him, and all of the stuff that you do. And at that point, at 8 weeks, that puppy belongs to you. And if I got to take care of it beyond 8 weeks, then I expect to be compensated for taking care of your puppy. Can't work for free, unfortunately. So, this is some of the things you want to consider to do a recap. Contract, what's in it, what's the expectations from you as the buyer, from this person as the breeder. Pick an order, when you're going to be able to pick your puppy. Is it anybody in front of you picking puppies? What's going on with this? Deposit. How much is the deposit? Is it refundable? Is it non-refundable? What is the payment method? Are there extra fees for processing fees and taxes? You need to know that. Okay, and then pick up and deliver. Are you picking up your puppy? When are you picking up your puppy? If it's being delivered, is it delivered by the breeder or is it delivered by a third party? And if it's delivered by a third party, what checks and balances are in place to make sure that they know they're picking up a healthy puppy? Any other questions? Any questions? Any comments? Thank you all for tapping the screen, for getting our likes up. I appreciate that. Those of you all who have shared the live, really appreciate that. I'm going to be doing a live this weekend. And you're going to be allowed to text us how many puppies you think Lollipop is going to have and how many puppies you think Tina is going to have. The first person that texts us right, they're going to get $50. We'll cash out them $50. Your bonus round will be, the bonus round is if you can tell us how many puppies we're going to have and what the sex is of those puppies. Give you an example. 7 puppies, 4 males, 3 females. Or 10 puppies, 7 males, 3 females. And if you get that right, you get an extra $50. We're going to be doing that on Saturday. Okay, I'm going to try to do that Saturday at 12 o'clock. So tune in Saturday at 12 for the opportunity. We'll give you the contact information that you can text in. You text in your real name, not no pseudonym. I need your real name and then your name on TikTok, so I'll be able to distinguish the two, and then whatever you're guessing. And like I said, the first person that gets it right, we're going to give that person $50. Okay. Hey, I thank you all for tuning in. I see y'all tomorrow, God willing, 12 o'clock noon.